evening, everybody. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Adjustments regular meeting of March 20th. Francine.
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-410, and the regulations governing the meetings, NJAC 539/125, I hereby announce that adequate notice and electronic notice of this meeting was provided in a notice dated January 14, 2023, that was sent to the Danbury Park Press, Two River Times, posted on the bulletin board and on the main access door to Town Hall, filed in the clerk's office, and posted on the township's website, www.holmdeltownship.com.
Roll call.
Mr. Burkle?
Present.
Ms. Campus?
Present.
Ms. Gerhart?
Present.
Mr. Giampolo?
Present.
Mr. Luciani?
Here.
Mr. Rafanatopoulos?
Here.
Mr. Santora?
Present.
Mr. Hutchinson?
Here.
Mr. Frigiola?
Please stand to pledge allegiance and to honor our military and first responders.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public hearing item number 1.
Public hearing, zoning board variance 469, Shahar Spitzer, 16 Mount Drive, block 50.25, lot 24, R40A zone, bulk variance. Applicant seeks to construct a 2-story, single-family residential dwelling on the subject property, which is a permitted use in the zone. The applicant requires bulk variance relief for the following: deficient lot area, deficient lot depth, deficient lot frontage, deficient lot width, deficient front yard setbacks.
Okay.
Just
Go ahead.
Chair of the board, just as a preliminary housekeeping, I had a couple conversations with the applicant's counsel today. And there was some discussion amongst the engineers maybe doing a site visit, and they then requested, didn't object to that, and they, assuming the board would want that, had asked not to have all the professionals here, because the site visit would be more beneficial first, and then have testimony. So with that understanding, the applicant's counsel and engineer are here to answer, or just to acknowledge the site visit and anything our engineer has to say, but they're not going to have any other testimony tonight. We'll hear from our engineer. Because of that, we asked Kate to not also come, so she's excused because there's going to be no planning testimony or any other testimony. So just as a preliminary intro, Catherine, I know you're here for Dante. Was there anything you had to add to that, or is that accurate?
That is exactly what Dante wants to relay as
Can you just make sure your mic is on?
Yeah, underneath there's a little switch, and just slide it to one side.
Let's push the torch. Push to mute. Put it in mute.
The light should be on.
There we go.
Just keep it within 3-4 inches from your mouth.
All right.
It works best. Okay, so Bob, our engineer, we want to swear him in.
Bob, you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? For the record, Mr. Bucker has been sworn in. Unless we need testimony, we'll swear you in at that time.
So Bob, did you get a chance to review the letter?
Yes, I did.
And the plans?
I did.
Okay.
There are three, I guess, major concerns I have with the application. One being drainage, the other being environmental issues, and the other one would be just the basic site development, which we can discuss at the next public hearing. I'd like to focus on drainage. I did receive a memo from the engineer on Monday evening. And in reviewing it, it appears to address my comments, but I would still like the opportunity to review it more in depth to be sure that the comments are fully addressed. Also, there's a head wall on the east side of the property. It's a concrete head wall that's in significant repair, and there has been some erosion. One of the wing walls, significant erosion, and there's a question of the ownership. We need to determine the ownership, whether it's the township's responsibility to repair or the homeowners. In discussions with the engineer, we can't find really who is responsible, so that's more investigation. Well, what we're gonna have to research and find out. Apparently, the file map doesn't address or indicate that there is an easement for this activity. It is a drainage structure that does come from the development file map. So we gotta figure that out.
Maybe one thing, Catherine, assuming you're off the title, maybe you got a copy of the title commitment over to Mr. Buffalo, he ordered it, maybe it's in your title report.
That's not a problem. I'll try, if we don't have one, I'll still try to find some kind of title work or obtain one.
Right, and addressing my environmental issues, the property is in close proximity to what DEP classifies as a blue line stream, which means it's a class 1 stream, it's active, it has water in it all the time. Having that, I've requested the applicant provide us with a letter of interpretation from the DEP. But when they do letters of interpretation, they really don't go out and do a site visit. They just look at the information and historical information that they have there. Maybe go look at Google Maps. But they won't go out and really look at the site. So it's my suggestion that once the applicant applies to determine if the property is subject to any buffer requirements through the LOI, that we do a site visit to look at the site, physically look at the site, and then the board will have a real understanding of what the site is. And we've also recently found out, and again, through conversations with the engineer, that there may be some riparian issues that we need to address as well. So again, a site visit would be very beneficial for the board in their determination of the outcome of this application. So the suggestion of a stakeout or a site visit would be to have the applicant stake out.
Can I just interrupt 1 second? So we probably correct me if I'm wrong, make a good time to see if the board wants. We should do a motion to have the site visit and then go back to Bob and tell him what's going to be needed. Just in case the board doesn't.
So, just for new people, there's a lot of new people on this board. Marty, why don't you take a minute and explain what you mean by a site visit, what happens, what's allowed, what's not allowed?
So whoever's available, hopefully all of you, will go to the site with, Courtney will be there as our secretary. Bob will be there, the applicant, engineer will be there. Typically, I do not go, nor does the applicant's attorney. You don't have a discussion. You can ask questions for clarification. But the testimony has to be back here. So when we come back to this meeting, first meeting after the site visit, we can put on any questions that were asked, and then get into testimony and clarify. So it's not for testimony. Public's invited. Again, no testimony. From the public, no questions. There's a clarification. That's what as Bob said. He's going to go through what he wants to see. And assuming that is what the board wants to see, I'll show you where the deteriorated any walls, show you where the stream is, show you what possibly the buffers are. And hopefully the applicant will stake some of these areas out, including where the house is. Kind of gives us a better visual than what we're gonna hear about the revised plans and have been submitted to us. So it's definitely, it can be useful in certain applications. This sounds like one of them. And this board has done it as recently as 2 years ago. 2 years ago for the farm enclave dementia center application. Some of you weren't here for that, but a few of us were. So that proved very helpful for that application. So, but it requires us, the board should confirm that's what they want to do. So take a vote of the board. And then we'll. Want to do an actual roll call? I would do it by a regular vote. Motion to have it, and then Bob will go back into what he's going to look for. The board can then ask Bob to clarify some of those things. The applicant has a chance to tell us whether, maybe we're asking for too much or not. So with that, I think the board's in agreement. You should ask for a motion.
So can I have a motion for on-site?
I'd like to motion for the on-site.
Second? I'll second it. Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Burkle?
Yes.
Ms. Cantus? Yes. Ms. Earhart?
Yes.
Mr. Giampolo?
Yes.
Mr. Luciani?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Papadopoulos?
Yes.
Mr. Santoro?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchinson?
Yes.
So there's two things now. We'll do a date and we'll need Bob's.
You want to do that first? It's up to you guys. Let's do the date. So, some of the information that that Bob's gonna go over, we will need a mini site plan that we can hold in our hands. We need to have that emailed ahead of time to us, because there may be members of the board that will not be able to get the date. We will see what date we pick. And if they're not available to go, we want permission for them to go and walk the site ahead of time. So we will also need to know, depending on what their availability is, when the stakes, when everything will be out on the property, so we can go and how long will remain after the date that we select. So if they can't make that date, they have a little flexibility to take a walk and look at it on their own. Okay, and then Bob will explain the points, and then some of the board members may have their own, but you have to do it in color coded. So like, let's say the house might be red, the driveway may be blue, and then they're numbered, and on the plans they're numbered, so we can look on the plan, see red, blue colors or whatever, and know what we're looking at when we go to the property, because it's all going to be overgrown, marshy, who knows what we're going to find there. It makes it a lot easier if you could see from far away. Okay, there's a blue one, that's the driveway, that's number 2, that's the beginning of the driveway.
Just to clarify, when you're discussing colors, you're talking about the colors of the stake in the ground, and then a corresponding colored, some sort of colored indicator on the smaller paper map.
Right.
Okay.
So when we look on the paperwork, it'll be in color. Because some people do it in black and white
Yeah.
and roll. And also, when you make those copies, besides us, you have to have a bunch of extra copy for the public that might show up. All right, so that's the basics.
So are we talking about 24 copies of the plan?
I would say 2,000 plus email all the board members ahead of time.
And it would,
Sure. And we would send it to Courtney and, okay, thank you.
No, just the paper copy, send us the electronic. Send it to her.
You get it. I got you.
Okay, so with that being said, Bob, you're, give them the list of things we need.
Okay. Basically covered most of what I was going to say. What I would like to see take down would be the steep slopes and where the site improvements will be encroaching on them. Also,
He's gonna mark it on the plans.
I'm considering that may be a benefit to all of us.
Just in case, why don't we swear you in, so we don't have anything that wasn't appropriate.
Absolutely.
I do.
Frank Farrell.
Frank Farrell, Farrell. Licensed engineer in the state of New Jersey, employed by Grotto Engineering.
So
You're
you're
welcome.
gonna mark
I think that would be a good way to, that we all agree on what the,
Go up there and point it out with you.
However you'd like to do it is okay with me.
Bob, why don't you go up there?
You want me to bring the plan to you, or do you want to?
Where is the steep slope?
The steeps, I have, yeah.
What I'd like to see is the site improvements enclosed on the slope map.
That's not part of, yeah, I don't think it is. Hold on, let me make sure I'm not
Bob,
mistaken.
why don't you go up there and show them?
I gotta find it. All right, so it's upside down.
What we
But-
can do is show where the site improvements are.
Sure.
And then have that staked out where the site improvements are, and stake out where the steep slopes are.
Okay.
Color code those,
Sure.
all right?
To avoid overstaking or having proliferating stakes everywhere, which also actually makes this a little bit more convoluted, would it be fair to put, say, 3 or 4 stakes, because this isn't it's not a straight, 100% straight line, 3 or 4 stakes along the limit of disturbance near Mount Drive?
Where the steep slopes are, and you're going to be.
Where we're going to be impacting, okay.
And you're going to impact steep slopes with your site. That's what I need to see.
Okay.
That'll be the back of the house, right?
I'm sorry?
The back of the house?
The back of the house is actually relatively, on ground that is relatively less steep. It drops off from Mount Drive fairly significantly, and then as you approach the stream, it levels out a little bit. Not significantly, but the back of, yeah, when you get back near the regulated feature back here, it's a little bit flatter. But the steep slopes, I can show the other, it doesn't have the improvements superimposed on them. I can potentially provide that between now and the site visit. But the way that this was prepared, it's a little cumbersome to try and read at a distance, as you might imagine. That is, I think it's page. That's actually the old one. Yeah, this sheet 8 of 9 in the set that was submitted dated revision date 3/6/24. If it would benefit the site walk, though, I think that we can supplement that drawing to include some of the improvements.
So Bob, just on where the improvements are in the steep slope, I think the question was, approximately how many stakes do you think in that area?
So the dark, on this map, Bob, the darker area tends to be the more steeply sloped areas, but generally speaking, the site is half a dozen?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, about every 25 feet or so, whatever seems to.
Color code, so we don't see the difference.
Color code the steep slope, and color code where the site encroach on the steep slopes. All right. The other part that I would like to be staked out would be the wetlands. Now, we have requested that the applicant apply for an DEP-LOI, which is a road interpretation, which they have done. It's my understanding that they have done that.
To clarify, the application is in preparation.
Right, so.
It's in preparation.
They supply, yeah, we need to be supplying that. That won't be ready, that won't be determined by the time we do the site visit. But they did have the environmental scientist do a wetlands report, which said that it was not. I would like to see where his limits were
Yeah,
shown
no problem.
On the property to at least let the board know where their environmental scientists believe the wetlands are. And see where it, if in fact comes close to or does not encroach on the proposed site improvements. That's the best we can do right now.
So Bob, in your office, do you have somebody that specializes in this too?
Yes.
Can they be part of the visit at the site?
If that's what the board would like to have.
I don't think anybody would object for the board if we had him there at the location, him or her.
I will check with my environmental scientist and see what their availability is.
Okay. Because I'm not sure if they're gonna have theirs there or not.
Well, that would be,
Or we can discuss it.
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, if it, with risking sort of stepping over the bounds a little bit, if we're asking multiple professionals to show up, would it be accurate that the applicant would be responsible for paying the extra fees associated with the professionals that are going to be on site? Okay, so in that case, can we bring ours? I think would be,
No, you can bring,
you get the benefit of having the delineation as performed by the individual who spent the time and research doing it, there to ask clarifying.
And that's why what I would like ours to be there too, because this is a very sensitive subject here, without getting into anything else. So when we're there, we can see everything, because here we're looking at paper, it's almost, not that it's meaningless, it's not the same.
that's the reason why I was suggesting to you that we do this
Yeah.
site visit.
Oh, yeah.
Is because, like they say, pictures are worth 1,000 words.
And just to follow up on that, obviously more professionals on your side for that, to help. Just say, I did speak to Kate when we decided we're not gonna have testimony tonight. Our planners are not here because of that. She does sometimes go to the site visits, so she may be there, so if her planner is available. Again, suggestion, maybe that person wants to show up, that's your decision. This is more engineering issues than planning, so. But she may or may not go based on her availability, so just letting you know that as a courtesy.
Yeah.
If you want to do that.
We,
And you guys can talk
I don't think
offline.
that would be, yeah, I don't think that would be a problem.
And we can even have, I can even have my wetland scientists communicate with their wetland scientists in the interim, if that's appropriate.
Well, I'm just concerned that they have one version and your guy has another version. So that's what I'd like to hear.
Well, that's why, you know, that would be, in my opinion, beneficial for them to, like, Frank and I did. We had several phone calls, back and forth for clarification, suggestions, and things of that nature to have it all basically hashed out before we came to the board, so you guys didn't have to listen to a bunch of awful gobbledygook during the public hearing.
Bob, has your wetlands person gone out to the site yet? I know, obviously, you didn't, your person didn't go.
No, we have not. I have asked them to comment in our review letter, but they, you know, they're only commenting on what's been submitted by the applicant. And we had some questions, you know, respond to those questions, but, I guess from old school, I'll rather talk to you than send emails back and forth.
So Bob, do you think that your specialist will go to the site before we go? So they're
Probably,
prepared?
probably.
Yeah, I would hope.
I would suggest that he does that,
Yeah.
and they will. If I tell them that they need to do a site visit prior to the site visit, then they will do it.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be good for him to see it for the first time when we're all there.
Catherine, your contract person, we're gonna be okay having these
That's
people on site.
that's the other thing I was gonna suggest, is that we get permission in writing.
Yeah. Is that anything do you think you can follow up? Send that to the secretary that's.
So we were hoping to establish the dates for the site visit. Okay, so that we don't have.
A little bit earlier if he has to, so it's just a window of time if we can get that permission.
All right, keep going, Bob.
Okay, I did see the environmental commission's review of the application. And basically, everything that they have in their letter, we are addressing also. Their concerns are our concerns. So they will be addressed in the review letters and during the site visit. And they will have to meet the satisfaction of the environmental commission as well as my review letters and then the other review letters.
And you guys have a copy of that letter?
I received a copy of it earlier, I think it was earlier this week, yes, by email.
So, I just want to make sure, because I heard you say all the other things, but I just want to make sure some things that I want to be sure on. Is the four corners of the house,
Yes,
okay? The driveway, the start of the driveway, the two points at the beginning of the driveway.
Yep.
On the top of the street there, and then where the turn is, as it's swinging around.
we're going
Yep, there,
here,
there, and then the other side, yeah. And then the two corners where the proposed wall is going to be.
here, and then the house is,
Because the proposed wall in that corner where it says TW 181, 169, that should go straight across to the house, just about.
yeah, this, yes.
Okay, so when people come to visit these folks, if they get there, they would come down the driveway to get to their front door, right? There's no other way in there, according to what I see here, right? To get to the
Correct.
front of the house.
Correct. You could walk through the trees, but there's no separate, right. The primary entrance will be through the driveway area.
Okay, now, what about the head wall? We talked about that, Bob, and they're gonna show us
Yes.
those? Okay.
We don't have to do much. You'll see it, but if you'd like a stake there, just indicate there's two.
Well, isn't there two of them?
There are.
Right.
There are. Yeah, so we're going to identify.
Which one is the one that's deteriorating?
The one to the east.
I've witnessed it, you'll know. But yes, we'll identify this, it's this one.
So when we identify that one, once we find ownership, somebody's gonna have to repair that as part of this, right?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying,
That's
Bob?
going to be my recommendation, yes.
Obviously. I mean,
Yeah, you're improving the property, and it doesn't make any sense. And we found something that needs to be repaired, it needs to be addressed. So, again, it's going to be part of my review that whoever is responsible has to repair it. Because it's causing erosion. And what's happening is, because it is, you know, a vacant lot, a lot of drainage is going across the property and, you know, eroding. So we need to address all that.
do we need to know where those drains are that they have all around the house in front?
No, we know what the corners and we know where the retaining walls are. I don't think we won't need to know that because it'll all be incorporated in that envelope. All right?
All right, so board members, does anybody see something on the plans that they would like to point out?
Yeah, there's some kind of, is this a drainage thing on the left-hand side of the, you know, next to the house?
The right side?
Take a look at, I can't see it right here.
He's talking about the area section.
He's pointing at the outlet control structure and
Right, the alley.
this, for everybody that. You want me to identify where this is going to fall? Is that the,
Is that what you're asking for, Gene?
Yeah.
You want to see the end where it funnels out?
Yeah.
The outlet control.
so we'll put, that's sort of off the corner of the house. I think it would be fair we'd put another,
Has to be clear.
yeah, well, it will be. I only got a red pen, well, I got red and blue and black, but.
Well, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it or spray paint the stakes or something and make it, color coded.
Okay, any other board members have anything they want to see on here?
That's the number 9 item, a modular block retaining wall is proposed along the frontage at the perimeter of the driveway.
The block wall is this feature here, that generally borders the driveway. On the eastern side, it's more of a curb. Aesthetically, we may use the same block for it, but on this side, there's a wall, yes. And this wall is one of the features Bob asked to be staked out to these two corners,
Yep.
and then it generally coincides with the building corner here.
So they will be straight. And now, it's saying here they'll be in height between 9 and 12 feet, that wall. What's determining the height of that? Is it to bring it up to the, because I went to the property, there's parts there that are so deep. Is that wall gonna go from the bottom of the property up to the sidewalk level? Is that why the height is not determined?
I would like to defer the answer to the, I would like to revisit this question after the site visit. As we've been asked, or our preference is not to offer substantive testimony this evening.
We're just trying to do the on-site stuff. Well, those questions we could ask at the next meeting. Okay, anything else? Okay, well, good. Okay, so now next,
So are you guys okay with all those suggestions?
I have no objection.
If there's any questions, then I'll just have Frank call me, and we'll coordinate it and make sure what the board is supposed to request.
okay, so
For clarification.
let's look for a date.
The applicant has requested that we carry the main hearing until April 17th, meaning the second April meeting. They have some They have some contractual issues, and want to try want to to accommodate that. So if we can, and say I think that's said available that's to available the applicant. to the applicant. So if the So board's if okay, the board's okay, the goal is to try to meet before the 17th.
Okay, so one date that Courtney and I looked at is April 6th, Saturday, in the morning. We're flexible, 9, 10, 9:30. So first of all, let's see if everybody's good for that day in the mornings. You guys good, Gene? You good? I think so. John? April 6th? April 6th, I'm sorry. Yes. When do you come back? Okay, so that's where you might be able to go there on Monday. You'll be here?
I will not be here on
The 7th?
the 7th. The 7th is Sunday.
What are the 2 days?
Sunday.
I like the 6th.
So maybe
6th
you
and the
John can
13th.
go.
Right,
I think would be
on Monday.
our preference. I'll go whenever somebody pays me.
Okay. So Robert?
It's not clear at this point, so I'm actually, I'm free. Real Friday. It'll be free, yeah.
Okay, so now time. What time is everybody opposed? Time, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock? What's better, 10? Well, in that segment.
No, can we stay, can you get the statements done?
I think the 6th is, are we talking about the 6th?
Yeah.
That's fair. It's about 2.5 weeks. We were, yeah.
So you can do that, and you can have the plans ahead of time. Here, some members won't be able to make it.
Yep.
So when we ask for that permission, that tell them that, give us an envelope at the file.
Yeah.
If something comes up and somebody plans change, you can't come that Saturday. You know that they can go between those dates. When you have the
I think it would be fair that since the attorney's got to confirm with the owner of the property that we'll give an on or after date, and maybe an ending date where it might be appropriate for that window. Okay.
And can this be videotaped? Even on a cell phone? No, I was, because obviously John and I will be there to hear.
Okay, hear what happens.
That's what I want to.
Just comments. Comments are going to be summarized, we'll take notes, and we'll present a summary and go over them at the public hearing.
Right. And we'll, all the people that made the comments will be able to talk about what they observed. Okay, so back to times. 9 o'clock's too early, so is 10 o'clock good? Everybody? 10 o'clock? Okay, so.
Right now they're at the 6th.
No, the
So
6th.
April 6th, 10 a.m. And then you're going to send an email to Courtney and tell us about the envelope, because we have 2 members that might go there on Sunday or on Monday.
And Bob's counterpart professional may go a little bit earlier. Right, you're a scientist, maybe.
I would ask that we, I would ask that we coordinate, I'm sorry. I would ask that we coordinate that so that we can make sure that the flagging and everything else that would delineate the feature is done before. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob, you can do that offline with them, right?
Yeah, well,
Hopefully he can go Friday or week before the
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what the weather conditions are. We're gonna have to have somebody who's gonna be telling everybody, probably be coordinating me, deciding if it's pouring rain, we're not gonna do it that day.
So that would,
Then we would have to
just reschedule for the second date that we would make available should.
An onsite, we would have to have
Mhm.
an onsite, because that could happen.
Yeah, well, that's what we're hoping to do is circulate 2 dates, including, no. As in, if we can't make it the 6th, we'll try to coordinate a second date and let Courtney know.
Do that here, so you should have a backup date.
Well, that's good. Monday night, during the daytime?
No, I would say, 6:30.
So just because we're working with professionals as well, we would ask that it be either the 13th, so the next following Saturday.
Okay, so Saturday 13th would be the backup date. Okay, and we can, excuse me? So what do we do then?
And pray it doesn't rain.
Sundays.
Someone else to take notes.
Who else can do it?
Mm-hmm.
Our official recording. Secretary Francis.
No, it's not a formal meeting,
I know.
so it needs, I don't know how much taking needs to be done.
I just say do it a little bit later. My kids are
What are you talking about, the 6th?
the 13th.
Oh, the 13th.
13th, yeah. The 6th is good for 10 a.m. 6th is good for 10 a.m. 13th, by 11 a.m.
Okay, so only 2 people can't make it on the 13th.
I can't make the morning of the 13th.
Okay. Well, if we keep pushing it, that means the hearing has to get pushed too. So that's okay with me. That's okay with you guys.
We need a new way to carry the hearing.
Yeah, but before we figure that out, we gotta.
We have a significant interest in getting this done
Keep the
before
one
the.
date,
The one date,
the 6th,
the
and
7th
then rain,
meeting.
come back to the hearing. And we may have to just adjourn it again to another date.
Well, based on the purchase contract, you know, we are on a timeline. So it's not that we wouldn't want to consent to an adjournment. It's just that we're bound by a certain time restraint.
Seven.
At 6 o'clock, it was still like, even at 6:30, it was pretty bright. What do you say, like later than 6:30? At 6 o'clock, it was pretty bright.
So then what day will we do it?
Given the nature of the site and the wooded nature of the site, I wouldn't do this at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, you couldn't do the 6th.
I don't want to get into
So I was thinking the 8th.
Please don't throw a wrench in this.
Can your professionals come tonight? At that time frame?
I'm here, yeah. I believe on, what date? Monday the 8th. I can't speak for everybody else, but I think I can find a way to make that work. Monday the 8th at 6.
You guys that are coming from the city, you're gonna be able to get right up. Well, these guys come from the city.
If we provide any date and a backup date, and we're also able to walk on
It's too late, we need time to be there.
isn't that enough?
They want the professionals there for all of them. I mean, I can't believe we're entertaining this.
This is a little crazy.
Why don't we have one, if we can't make the
All right, so So 5 o'clock on the 8th, is that what we're talking about? Yeah, the back up there.
We're just going to hope for no rain. Somebody's got to put in the order. I don't know who's got the...
We're saying 5. John has another meeting. As long as everybody else is available. I'm retired.
It's always 5 o'clock.
All right, and the other thing is that, can you, if somebody can let us know like what the conditions of the ground is, so I presume we should be coming.
I would wear boots anyway. Yeah. You're going to be, the site is undeveloped. It's generally wooded. There's a water feature to the rear. Long pants, long sleeves, and boots would be my recommendation. Yeah, boots you don't mind getting maybe a little dirty.
Okay, so is everybody good with everything? What? Okay, so we're good? We got the dates, everybody's okay?
6th at 10 a.m. and the 8th at 5 p.m.
Okay, so meeting, now let's do the meeting.
And you'll find out if John and I can go, so,
Yeah, we're gonna, Courtney will send us an email with the permission.
Oh.
with the permission. If the meeting happens on April 6th, and John and I are not available.
Yeah, you requested a window that it would be open to...
We also signed a consent saying that, for site inspection, so if anyone on the board wants to take a ride out on their own, from, the unavailability on their time, you're always welcome to go visit the site. We already signed a consent from the owner for a site inspection.
Sorry.
How early do you think you'll have it sleep?
I would request that we do honor after the 6th, because I don't have the surveyor schedule in front of me, which is why the 2.5-week window I thought was good.
So let Courtney know the answers to those questions. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the meeting.
I was gonna say, I would suggest that when it is staked out, it's gonna be staked out, that Frank just send an email stating those dates.
Yeah, and we're going to coordinate, Bob, we're going to coordinate with your office as well, potentially so that your environmental consultant could get out and review the flagging, and potentially the staking, but at least the flagging before the day of, so.
Okay. So, meeting date. Courtney, I think you told me the 17th would be the first available one, and that would be after both on sites. Does that work for you, April 17th?
And then we don't, I understand we don't have to do any further noticing for the 17th?
And then I'll send over a session time for you to sign. The last one is until the 30th.
All right.
We have tentatively an application on that date, so Courtney will let us know if it's going to be first or second. Okay? All right. I think that's it then, right? Did I miss anything?
We should take a roll on Paris, further notice.
Okay, is everybody on hand with moving into the April 17th, carrying this meeting? Good. Aye.
For the public, it's carried without further notice.
Okay, so.
And the public's invited to the on-site also.
That's okay.
It'll be posted.
And so everybody out there should have heard what we were saying by now, so you got an idea of what's going to happen. So on that date, when you come, be prepared to walk in the marshlands too. And we will give you a set of plans, one page plan that's going to have all the information we talked about. Their engineer is going to make 2 dozen copies for everybody. Handheld.
Yeah, 11 by 17.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And that's it then.
Just one thing, Frank, all of a sudden, you agree, right?
That is a very open-ended question. Based on our prior discussions in the review letters, I believe that you and I are in agreement regarding any comments, outstanding comments that you may have, that we'll be able to comply with them and the letters that have been issued.
Okay, I think we covered everything, right? Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We have 2 other items on our agenda.
And I'm gonna just shoot an email to Dante.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go over what
We'll
we,
do a conference call tomorrow or something.
oh my God, abandoned ship. Set me free. Right, so you're gonna take a moment to speak with the client.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna let Dante know how this went, all right?
Sounds good.
We'll ask everybody before they vote.
They were.
Okay, item number, item number 3.
Zoning Board of Adjustment, 23-5, Christopher Lane, 12 Sherwood Court, lot 18, lots 30 to 33, R40 based on both areas. Applicant granted variance relief for an existing retaining wall greater than 6 feet in height, able to disturb a slope greater than 25%. The wall extends from the southeast rear corner of the home, continues southeast for approximately 75 feet, and then curves to the northeast for an additional 75. The total length of the retaining wall is approximately 100 feet.
Okay, Marty, can you go over, I think the main thing is discussion.
As usual, so this is pretty straightforward one. Special conditions that were reviewed with Bob. They have to obtain field soils approval on this application. They need to submit an as-built finish, and they need to revise the deed and meet some bounds descriptions, comply with two of Bob's items, 27 and 31 review letter as to wetlands and conservation that's in the back. Otherwise, straightforward. We did send this to the applicant's council. Haven't heard anything back.
Gene, did you have a
Does anybody have any questions for Marty on the resolution?
Yeah, I had just one question. There was something about a height, and it wasn't a height, it was a square footage.
I have the email right there, sir, from Marty.
It's just a minor thing.
It's thorough. We'll make that.
Okay. Any other comments? If none, can I have a motion?
I'll motion to accept the resolution.
Second.
Aye.
Okay.
Everyone was here, actually, I just looked
Mr. Burkle? Mr. Burkle?
Yes.
Ms. Campus?
Ms. Campus.
Ms. Gerhart?
Ms. Gerhart.
Mr. Giampolo?
Giampolo.
Mr. Luciani?
Luciani.
Here.
Yes.
Mr. Fanatappos?
Yes.
Mr. Santori?
Santoro.
Yes.
Okay, item number 3.
Adjustment 2023-11, Frank and Mary Pinto, 42 Grisha Court, block 50.34, lot 8, LIH zone. All clear. Applicant granted variance relief to reconstruct and enlarge an existing deck from 10 by 12 to 12 by 24 and 3 feet from the rear property line, with height 5 feet is required.
Okay, Marty.
And this was very straightforward, no special conditions on this one. This was to allow the deck to be enlarged, as was indicated, especially for the physical conditions of the applicants.
Okay, any comments from the board? Everybody looked at it and everybody has no problem? Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution for Frank and Mary Pinto, 42 Grisha Court, for variance.
Second? Lori? Okay.
Jean or Lori?
Jean or Lori?
Lori?
Lori? All right.
Okay, roll call?
Mr. Burkle?
Mr. Burkle.
Yes.
Yes.
Campus?
Campus.
Ms. Gerhart?
Gerhart.
Yes.
Mr. Giampolo?
Giampolo.
Yes.
Luciani?
Luciani.
Yes.
Mr. Fanatappos?
Yes.
Mr. Santori?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, professional report?
None?
You got to say anything else about the on-site or that we should know about?
No, it can be very enlightening to clear up some visual questions that, we're talking about here. But again, it's not testimony, we don't want to get into, just if you have a question of why is that flag there, is that the wall, or is that the drain, that's a question to ask, our professional or theirs. And they, at the end of the day, they have to give you an answer, but you don't want to debate them, right? We'll debate them here, come back to the meeting and on the record. Yeah, what?
What is that? What is that?
I don't know if I'm just too late for this right now, because I'm just looking at this map over here. And so, the idea is that the house has to be built off the wetlands. This is the wetlands, this blue map here, right? This is all the wetlands. So the house can't be.
More of a question for Bob on the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we should say that, or ask him offline before.
What's the same thing that you had a question about? So that should have, the next hearing, those things got to be
And
brought
what
up.
does that blue line represent?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Those are questions for Bob at the hearing.
Right.
Yeah.
And how long does the DEP usually take to get back? You said we won't have an answer.
Usually about 90 days, they have a 90-day window, and that's usually when they get your answer. Either that or they'll ask for an extension, and you usually have to grant it, otherwise they deny, and then you gotta start the process all over.
Okay. All right, and lastly is, try not to have any interaction with the people out there on the on-site. They'll want to come up to you and start talking to you. It's okay.
All right.
All right, anything else? Let's have a motion to close.
I'll move to close.
Second,
Second,
voice vote,
voice vote.
all in favor?
All in favor?
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.